everybody, it's Bobby of Knitter's Niche. Welcome to my bonus room. Welcome to my Knitter's Niche. The temperature is 50 degrees, 51 degrees Fahrenheit. And that would be, let me look real quick here, 10.56 degrees Celsius. It's dark here right now. It's 10 till 5. It's 4:50 p.m. and it gets dark here at 5 o'clock. It's just now, I'm looking out my window up here. It's not completely dark yet, but it's going to be just in just a few minutes. So everything's gotten cooler here. We finally got some rain. We needed that, and we're hoping for some more coming up because it's been over 6 weeks since we've had any rain. So how's everybody doing? Enjoying their November? It was interesting today. I thought, well, I'm just going to look up some November quotes, and I came across one here, and it says, November is the month to remind us to be thankful for the many positive things happening in our life. And you know, that's absolutely true. This is the month of Thanksgiving in the United States. We have Thanksgiving in November. So it reminds us to be thankful of all the positive things that we have in our life. And also there was another quote that I liked a lot. It says, autumn, the year's last, loveliest smile. And William Cullen Bryant, that's a quote from him. So we're winding autumn down, and next month is December, everybody. So anybody working on Christmas projects, I'm sure you're hot and heavy and really working those needles fast and frequent to get those completed in time for any gift giving. I'm going to be talking about a little bit about Advent calendars that you might have purchased, yarn Advent calendars. And I'm going to tell you about one that I received in the mail. I'm really looking forward to getting that started. So let's back up here. What am I wearing? I am wearing the Weekender Crew. This is Andrea Mowry's latest and newest. This was released in September of this year, of 2023, and it is called the Weekender Crew. So I'm going to stand up here and let you take a look, and it has pockets in the front, and it is really, really cute. It has the split hem, a little bit longer in the back, and these are the pockets. Aren't they cute? So I did a couple of new things with this. Actually, well, yes, no, just two new things I did on this pattern, which I hadn't done before. And one of them was the tubular cast on. And I talked about that in last episode, in episode number 22. This is episode 23. Episode number 22, and I had put up a tutorial on YouTube. And it's there, and I will link it down below in the description. And I would highly recommend you taking a look at that. I tell you how to do the tubular cast on. I go through all the steps, so you can be a success at it also. So I did the tubular cast on, and it does, you start at the bottom, and this is it. And so you're going to do the tubular cast on, and it's just like everybody says, stretchy, and then the stitch here just rolls over to the back. So you really don't have an edge on that, and it is nice and stretchy. It's so pretty. And the second thing that I had done is pockets. No, I did 3 new things. Yes, putting pockets onto a sweater. So, and she goes into detail. Well, actually she doesn't. Let me tell you that real quick. The pattern, it's a lovely pattern. It's by Andrea Mowry. And the pattern, there's the pockets there. You can see. What she does is she gives you a link, and it is a link to Brooklyn Tweed. And Brooklyn Tweed, it's a link, it's not a video. There's pictures, and the directions are written out on how you do it. However, this is done in reverse stockinette, and reverse stockinette is just the back side of stockinette. So, I think I showed that to you before. This side's stockinette. So anyway, it's the reverse side, so you're going to have the little bumps, the purl bumps, the back side of a knit stitch. Now, the tutorial that she links to on the pockets and how to apply them to your sweater, you are applying them on stockinette stitch on the smooth knit side. So, which is much easier. I can tell just by looking at the directions, well, that would be easy because you would just follow the V's of the stockinette stitch, and you could go in a straight line and you wouldn't have any trouble at all sewing that onto your sweater. So I was having a bit of trouble with it, and yesterday afternoon I wanted to get the pockets on because I think the pockets are a really cute feature, and what makes it different from the other weekenders patterns that she has written are the pockets and also the crew neck. This is the crew neck here versus the boat neck that both of the weekender, her first weekender and then weekender light, they both have the boat neck, which comes clear out here. And it would show your bra strap if you didn't have anything over that. But I think that was the idea, to have kind of a boat neck. It's what a boat neck generally will do in a knitted sweater. So anyway, the pockets are really a cute feature, so I want them to put them on the sweater. So yesterday I just took notice, okay, I'm going to pay attention to how long it takes me to figure this out, because I thought it looks so easy, and how am I going to get a straight line when I have the bumps on the back that I'm dealing with, and I'm putting the pockets, attaching the pockets onto the reverse side of stockinette. So I looked at the clock and it said 3:39 p.m., 3:39 in the afternoon. And so I'm in the kitchen, I'm sitting at the island and I'm doing that. And I thought, I pin it. Everything has been wet blocked and way before I even put even the pockets. So I have everything ready to go, but I just hadn't done it yet. And I had the sweater done. Oh, this sweater has probably been done a week and a half, and the pockets they were knit too. So it had been done for a while, but I've been working on something else too. So for some reason, I was just not wanting to attempt this because I thought, oh, this is something new. And the more I knit, the more I hesitate, and it shouldn't be that way. It really shouldn't be that way, because I started knitting, I've been knitting for a while, and I kept putting putting these pockets on my sweater. Oh my God, brother, do I want to do this? So I put the pockets, I lined them up. I stood in front of the mirror. I got my measuring tape, like actual sewing measuring tape is what I used. It's downstairs, and it's thicker. So, and its numbers are bigger. So I thought, I'm going to be looking in the mirror doing this and trying to put this. And what I had used to mark it was the removable, the little light bulb removable stitch markers, just to get these first two corners here lined up, right down here. And this was my first, this was my first one that I put on this side. So I did that, and I tried it and tried it. I thought, I'm just not getting this. And in my mind, I'm thinking there really needs to be directions on putting this on the reverse stockinette side, because there again, like I said, you're working with pearl bumps. So what I did was I emailed Andrea Mallory's, probably somebody on her team. I emailed them and I said, is there any way that a video can be made for those of us that need a visual example? And I knew, here it is, Friday, late afternoon. At this point, it probably was an hour later. So it was going on 5 p.m. And I thought, well, I'll just continue. I'll read this over again, and I'm going to get this figured out. Well, the more I looked at the reverse stockinette, as you pull on the reverse stockinette, you're going to see the rows of the pearl bump. So I could figure out, okay, 5 rows up from the ribbing is where I was attaching the bottom of the pocket. So I ended up getting it figured out, and I emailed Andrea Mallory back, her team, more than likely, someone in her team. And I said, oh my gosh, I figured it out. And I did figure it out. So from that time to where I got the first pocket, it took no time at all really to get the pocket on there once I'd figured it out. I mean, I'm not kidding you, because you're sewing it. So it's not hard. It's just figuring out how to get it straight that was given me, that I was struggling with. So then I look at the clock when I get my very first one done. It is exactly 2 hours later from when I started. So it was, what I say the time was? Did I say it was 3:49 or 3:39? Anyway, it was 5:39 or 49, whatever time. So it was 2 hours later. Then I got the other one on rather quickly, but I did do the size of the pockets. I did different than what they said in the directions from Brooklyn Tweed. There again, the Brooklyn Tweed directions are just written out with pictures. It's not a video. So what I had done is I did a running stitch right here and here on the top. And also real quick here, the third new thing I had done was the tubular bind off. And I did the tubular bind off on the top of the pockets. And the pattern also calls for a tubular bind off on the bottom of the sleeves, on the cuffs. And I made the sleeves a little longer. They're cute. And I'll put a picture up here. Wait, or is it going to be over here? I think it's going to be over here. Well, it's going to be wherever I ended up putting it, wherever it fits. I'll take a picture of me wearing it and moving around in it so y'all can see it a little bit better. But I did the sleeves longer than I said. And I also did the sleeves a little tighter. She has them more baggy, so my increases were more frequent. A little thread on there, more frequent. But it's really cute. I like it a lot. I really do. Oh yes, and the yarn I used is, and I did talk about it last episode, is Berroco Vintage DK. This is written for a DK yarn. And the needles I used were the US 6, which is 4mm, and then the US 4, which is 3.5 millimeter. And it wasn't difficult. It was kind of a lot of work because, you know, long sleeves, you know, once you do the sleeves and everything. But yeah, her sleeves they're down. They're bigger. I did have a viewer made a comment last episode because I was talking about, well, I showed this sweater. I think I was just right here because it's bottom up and I was just right here. I had split for sleeves and I was working with this little section, which is an interesting section. It's different from anything I've ever knit before. The construction was different. But anyway, I had a viewer make a comment and she had said that, are you correct? Because the Weekender is knit with worsted weight. So I left her, you know, I replied to her comment and I said, you know, I corrected that. But okay, the first Weekender that Andrea Mowry had designed was released in November 2017. And as of right now, there's 13,800 different projects on Ravelry. And then the Weekender Light, which is written for fingering weight / sock weight yarn, that was released June 2020. So that's Weekender. That's the second Weekender, then Weekender Light. And as of right now, the Weekender Light in the fingering weight, let's see, it has 2,098 projects on Ravelry completed. And then this new one that I'm wearing that I just knit, the Weekender Crew, and they call it Crew because of the crew neck. So the Weekender Crew, that was just released September, just a couple months ago. And there's 201 completed projects of the Weekender Crew. So that's what I'm wearing. So my finished object, well, this would be my finished object, my finished sweater that I have on. And another finished object I have is right behind me here. And this is called the Sierra Tote. Isn't it cute? And I did talk about that and I showed you how I was going to use the fabric. Here, and look at the other side. Well, I didn't want to match this section here I didn't want to match the checks up together because you'd have to match, you know, line them all up, line all the lines up. So this is the other side. I just switched to put the pumpkins on the center panel, and these are 2 pockets in the front. And you could stitch the handles down so they would stand up. But I thought if I did that, if I have a project, hang on here. I want to go ahead and put this in. I could. Now it's not the same width as, I don't think so. No, it's too narrow to do it this way, but you could put your pattern right in there. Right in there. See, if I would have stitched them down, you wouldn't have been able to do that. Now there are pockets on the inside. This is the pockets here. Pockets on the inside. One here. That's the larger one here. It almost goes clear across. And then there's one here. And let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pockets on the inside, 2 pockets on the outside. And the handles, it's just that webbing that you can buy in any fabric store. And you could probably find it at Walmart too, I would think. It uses the Pelham interfacing, and I believe it was the 808 that I used. And it gives it, yes, Pelham 808, and it gives it nice structure. I mean, it will, I assume it will stand up, always stand up. I might, but you know what, as you do use your project bags that you sew, they do kind of get softer and break down a little bit and get a little floppy, but this has some really nice structure too. Excuse me. This is the bottom. She has you stitch here and here and here. The reason you have this line of stitching is so on this pocket, everything doesn't go to the bottom. It stops right there, or else it'd be clear underneath there and you wouldn't be able to get it out. Excuse me. You know, it's so dry here, and I mentioned that we got a little bit of rain. It had been, I want to say, 6 or 8 weeks since we'd had a good rain. And it rained, but it really didn't rain that much. So everything is a little drier here. Anyway, this is my Sierra tote. I had some questions, would I ever sell them? No, I talked about that last podcast. I wouldn't. It's so much work, everyone. I'll let the pumpkin show here. It's so much work to cut out all the pieces, put it all together. And let me show you the front of the pattern here. This is the Sierra tote right here. Oh, also it's by Indigo Bird. And I'll put a link down below if you'd like to take a look at some of her other patterns too. But I really enjoyed that. One day I took all the pieces, cut them all out. Well, first of all, in your pattern, you have all the pieces printed off in you just print them off on your printer, cut them all out. Then you want to lay them on your fabric, get all your fabric pieces cut out. And then I just let it set for a few days. And I thought, oh, I'm just going to give this some thought, because I'm thinking, where am I going to put these checks? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? So I really gave it some thought and took my time. So it turned out really cute. And I've got some fabric left. And I would like to make just a little accessory bag, a little notions bag to put in my Sierra tote, because this is a good size. The dimensions for this are, let's see here, 9 inches wide. So it's 9 inches wide, 5 inches deep. So this is 5 inches deep, and then 8 inches high. So it's really a nice size bag, really a nice bag. I was going to say, let me grab, here's some yarn here. Grab some yarn and put in. I mean, you could fit, oh, for heaven's sakes, you could fit a lot of yarn in there, projects in there. It'd take a good size sweater, I would think, would fit in there fine. And you put all your notions in the pockets. So anyway, that is my second finished object that I got completed, and I'm just really happy with it. And I think I'm going to do, I don't know if I'm going to do this pattern again. I'm going to do a Christmas one. So I'll have a Christmas one to show y'all, so I can put, the next thing I'm going to talk about is the, okay, let's do this. Let's talk about future knits. So I want to get this out of the way and let you guys know about this. The first thing I'm going to talk about is the Scrappy Yarn Advent. And the Scrappy Yarn Advent 2023 was hosted by, excuse me, Rebecca of Creabea. And that consists of, you can choose what you want to do, how many skeins you want to send, how many scraps you want to send. You could do skeins, regular size skeins. You could do 10-gram minis. You could either do 12 of them or 24. And what Crabea had done, Rebecca, what she had done is she had organized this, put it all together, found a match for everyone, and you could do it within your country that you lived in if you would rather exchange, do this exchange with someone in your country. That could be one of your choices, or you could do it worldwide if you wanted to. I decided to do one here in the United States, and it's very interesting because the person that I got, she got mine. That's how it works. You're just going to send to each other. She lives in Indiana, and she's originally from the United Kingdom. So I thought that was really nice, really pretty neat that we got to know each other and don't really live too awful far. I used to live in Illinois, which is right next to Indiana, so I was familiar with the area that she's from. So anyway, I'm going to bring it up here and let you know a little bit about that. Of course, it is no longer, you're no longer available to do that this year, but possibly next year. I don't know if she's going to do it next year. She did say it was a tremendous amount of work. And no doubt that it was. I'm sure. I can't imagine organizing that. And I'm doing the 24 days, 24 10-gram minis of 4-ply yarn. Or you could do 4 full skeins, or go stash diving and send 4 full skeins of yarn to be opened each week of the month. So that's what I did. And I'm going to show you my yarn advent. I have this beautiful box. It's a Christmas box. And this was mine that I have. And it says, it's the most wonderful time of the year. It's very pretty. It has a little bit of yarn. So this is my yarn advent that I got sent that came from Indiana for me. So it goes from December 1st to December 24th. And then on December 25th, the one back here, she actually has a special gift for me there. So I sent this to her, and it came with a delightful little note. And she says she's so glad that we got paired up together, and I am too. That is so nice. It's always nice to be involved with this knitting community. If things like this come up, and I just happened to see it. It was on Rebecca's, was one of her YouTube episodes. So it must have been either July or August when she had one of her YouTube episodes. And I just happened to be watching it, and she put a link in there for the survey that you had to fill out. So I clicked on that, and I did everything you're supposed to do. So I'm looking forward to starting that, and I'll open my first one on December 1st. And I've had questions from my viewers if I'm going to be doing Vlogmas this year. I'm not going to be doing it every day, because as I look back on those, you know, I really enjoyed doing it, and that's a lot of work too, and I enjoyed doing it. But what ended up happening is getting all of that, doing your video. You know, I wanted to do like get out and about and let you see me do some Christmas shopping and doing this, that, and the other, and baking and you know, doing all these other things too. And by the time I edited that and got it, it was a rush. It was a big rush to get that out on time to be going up later that day, because in the morning, every morning I would film and then have to edit everything, put everything together, music, this, that, the other, splicing, taking here, this, that, and the other, putting this here and that there. There was a lot to it, but it was fun. So I do not think I'm doing it every day. I would hope to do it every week, but which would be a breeze compared to what I had done last year in December of 2022. So we'll see if I get that done. So that is one of the first things let me show you what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is, and I also told my Scrappy Advent Swamp buddy, the one that sent me the Advent, I did tell her, let her know, because we communicated through Instagram to get things going. We contacted each other, and I told her what I wanted to knit with my 10 gram mini Scrappy yarn advent skeins, and this is what I'm going to knit: the Sweet Shop Blanket by Laura Penrose. That's what I want to knit. And I had purchased this. This is brand new for her, that she had just, it's a pattern that she had just put out, Laura had just put out. And I had purchased that, and she had it on sale at the beginning when it first went out. So I purchased that, and I'm going to do that. And what I'm going to do, more than likely, the white there is probably going to be Cascades. I think it's Heritage. Yes, Heritage in the fingering weight, and hold it double here. And I think I'm going to marl and hold it with the color. So this is 10 gram mini held together, where the color is the half of the triangle. So I'm going to marl that that section with the Cascade Heritage fingering weight yarn. So I think that's going to look lovely. This is something she's done, if I can show it or not. She actually has a graph on here, so you can go in with some colored pencils or marker or whatever, and you can color in and decide exactly how you want your blanket, your colors to go, because you can switch them around and make different shapes with these triangles, depending on how you sew them together. Will decide on your overall look, on your overall design. So you can really make it your own. Okay, so that's the Scrappy Yarn Advent Swap 2023. And another, okay, what I'm going to also talk about here. Oh, I did show you the yarn that I had got at Wool Warehouse last episode when I went to Wool Warehouse in Illinois. And this is the yarn that I had purchased. Let's see here. And this is the Malabrigo Rios in the color Fog, 705 Fog. Now, I am doing a test knit for Tiff Nealon, and it is due December 3rd. I'm not going to talk a whole lot about it. I might be able to show you a quick glimpse of it. Now, if you look at this yarn, you can see, and I should have known better, you can see, and it's, I mean, I like it, but you talk about pulling, where all the color, as you're knitting in the round, you know you're going to have a big swatch and more swath of color here, and then it's going to come here on a diagonal and here. I'm going to put a picture up right here, right now, and you can see how far I had gotten. I was just doing it. I wasn't doing helical knitting. And helical, oh boy, helical, wow, it's hard to say. Not sure why. When you helical knit, the reason you do it is for two things. One is if you want to do easy striping, to where you don't have a jog in your stripe from going to one stripe to the next, or it is also to prevent pulling of your color in your hand-dyed yarns. So I did it to prevent the pooling, but initially I did not. So here's a picture here, or here. Here's a picture of the sweater that I'm doing the test knit for Tiff Nealon. I decided to use this yarn. It is worsted, and that's what was required for the test knit. I'm going to show you what it looks like without doing helical knitting, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like when you do helical knitting. So let me grab this real quick here. And again, this is the test knit for Tiff Nealon. Okay, here is the top part of it. It is called Willow Branch, and Willow Branch is pretty. Now you can still see this is doing, you can still see it, but it's not near what it was before. Of course, up here in the lace, you don't even notice it as much. So I think a yarn like this more than likely needs to be for maybe a cable sweater, a cardigan. Let's see. I'm trying to think. I mean, I don't want to do an all over, an all over lace sweater, but you can see that you don't even really notice it. You notice it, but you don't notice this because you're knitting in the round. And when you're knitting in the round, it is actually, you're knitting in a spiral. It's not a complete circle like this. It is coming down and like this. Like this. So what you do is you slip those last 3 stitches of your round purlwise, and then you add your second yarn. And your second yarn, because every other row you're going to be picking up this other yarn, another skein that you have wound up. I don't have one in there. And so then you go around, and when you come to those last 3 slipped stitches, including that last stitch of the last round, you're going to slip all those and then pick up the yarn prior to that, the round prior to that. I only needed it to stop the pulling. Well, it did kind of stop it. It's not going to completely stop it because it's hand-dyed yarn. Y'all know when it's available. It's not available yet. So if there's nothing, I can attach the, I can't put the link below because it's not available yet. So anyway, it will be released. Well, let me say it's not necessarily going to be released December 3rd. It is due December 3rd, but it's called Willow Branch. And if you look at the lace here, the willow, you know how a willow branch is? It's like the leaves, they come sporadically off the center. And basically this is what this is. It's not equal on each side. It's this one's longer, then this one's going to come longer, then this one, the holes, the lace there. It's funny. It's funny. It's not funny. It's fun. It was fun. And I know y'all probably get tired of podcasters saying, oh, it's easy. It's easy. You know, my easy is not someone else's easy, and someone else's easy is not mine. It's hard for me, some things, and somebody else might be a breeze. So it is very doable. I think, I don't know about a beginner. I mean, you could give it a try. It's not very, very, very hard. The construction is your basic sweater construction. You start from the neck here and you cast on the number of stitches she says for your size. And then you go ahead and you start your lace. You do not, I'm just now starting the ribbing. And just now starting that. Actually, in the pattern, it has you go ahead and do your sleeves, your long sleeves, and then I'm going to turn my iPad back on because it's getting a little dark, and I'm going to use the light from that to brighten it up a little bit. It tells you to go ahead and do your sleeves, complete your sleeves, and both sleeves and cuffs, and then do your neckband. Well, I'm going to do my neckband first. I'm sure I'll probably have enough, but I want to use the rest of my yarn for something else. And that's the next thing that I'd like to talk to you about. And that is one of my future knits that I've got on my list. And this is the Magic Heel Socks Worsted Weight Cabled. And this is by the Autumn Acorn, which is Judy Jewell. I've done a test knit for her before. And these are the ones I would like to do. And I think they will look really pretty. Again, they're going to have somewhat of a stripe. And let me show real quick here on the sweater, the Willow Branch. I'm going to show you the ribbing. So that's the ribbing. That's the back here. That's the ribbing. I've done it in a twisted rib. And all that means is you knit through the back loop on your rib stitch, your knit stitch, and then the purl you just do normal. And it wanted me to use a stretchy bind off. I used the Ginny's surprisingly stretchy bind off. So it is stretchy. So anyway, the sock that I want to knit, more than likely, I'm going to be curious to see how that comes out because it has the cables in there. It has purl stitches. It has cables. And the Magic Heel, I've talked about her patterns before. A beginner can do them. If you've never knit a pair of socks, you can do them because it's a magic heel. It's a magic heel anybody can do. It's not your heel flap gusset. It's not your shadow wrap heel. It's not your fish lips kiss heel. Oh, there's more. It's not your short row heel. It's easy and it fits very nice on the foot, on the ankle, and on your instep on the top of your foot. It really fits nice. So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to see how it works up. See how, you know, how the pulling works. Okay, so that's one of my future knits. So let's talk a little bit about Christmas again. You know, we talked about the Scrappy Yarn Advent Swap 2023, and I talked a little bit about what I'm going to knit with my little minis that I've received. Let's talk a little bit about maybe something else. If you've got some little 10-gram minis, if you've got some scraps, you're wondering what you can do with them. Have you ever heard of Summer Lee Design Company? I would say that Summer Lee is the queen of sock designing. She's got such a wonderful eye for design and color. And you just look at these socks and you say, how did she think of these? They're amazing, just beautiful. Well, she has tiny tree socks. And look how cute these are. And I think that would be a great option for your Yarn Advent minis. I think they're adorable. And I'm trying to see here. It looks like it's a short row heel on them. It looks like it. But you know, I think I purchased this. I'm pretty sure it's a paid for pattern. I think it's really nice, really nice. And something else I've been wanting to knit, and I have everything I need for these. And I've had everything I've needed for a couple years, I think. And I haven't done them yet. And I came across this pattern. I'm looking through my patterns today. I have this really pretty velvet bench at the end of my bed, in our bedroom, and it opens up, and I have all my patterns in there. So I was looking through those earlier today, and this is called the Mini Red Roof Croft House, and these are adorable, just adorable. And this is a paid-for pattern, but I'm going to put some other pictures up here so you can see. You can take a look and you can see other things that you could, because if I show you, I'm afraid it's going to show the pattern. Yeah, I'll put some pictures in here so you can see some other things you can use. You could use these for little pin cushions because they're tiny. Let me see if the dimensions are here. 8 centimeters high by 4.5 centimeters deep by 8 centimeters wide, which is 3 inches by 2 inches by 3 inches. So they're not very big. 3 inches, they're little. How cute's that? How cute's that? I think I'm getting a cold. Kind of stuffy. My voice is getting a little rough too. I'm sorry. And something else, let's talk about Christmas gift knitting too. I know we're getting close. We're getting close. Today's November 11th. I had one of my episodes, I'll put a link down below to the episode that I showed you, the one that I had knit. This is called a headband in English rib. And English rib, after I learned how to do brioche, I thought, you know, I've done this before. And it was this. It was the headband. And I just loved the construction of this. This is a free pattern. And it is done with, I think it's done with worsted weight yarn. And done with 3.5 millimeter knitting needles, which is a US 4. It's done with DK/worsted, either size. And I just love this. As a matter of fact, I don't think I have it in here. You know what I did? I had actually put, I think it's still in there too. I'd actually put that in my pickleball bag. We play pickleball and I put it in my pickleball bag because as it gets into November, it gets really chilly outside. It starts to get pretty windy down here. Even though it's warmish in the winter, we can have days where it's really, really cold. So anyway, I don't have that with me, but I would really highly recommend if you want an easy knit, and this is something that could fit several sizes. It is an adult size. So that's called the English Rib Headband, and it's free pattern. All right, well, I think that's everything I was going to talk about. So we're going to start the Scrappy Yarn Advent. That'll be opening. That will be next month in December, which I can't believe December's about here, everybody. It's gone by, the year has gone by so fast. Also, I really wanted to thank all of my new viewers. Thank you so much, and all of my returning viewers, and thank all my subscribers. My goodness, we're getting up there on my subscribers, and I appreciate you so much. I hope you're all doing well in this month of November. So I'm going to put some video in here. We went to the falls, not too far from where we live. They're called High Falls. And I told you we hadn't had much rain, so I'm going to let you see. We took some video, our grandkids went with us, and I'm going to let you see that there was absolutely no water. We were walking where there's a rushing waterfall normally. So, and there's some fall colors. Now down here, we do not have as many trees here that do the fall foliage color change. So, and like I said, we haven't had much rain. Oh, it's so dry here. So anyway, we'll put some footage in here. You can take a look at that. And we're going to close out here in November. I should have another podcast in November, but then it's going to be more towards Christmas and what I really want to get going for Christmas. And maybe I'll have some Christmas decorating going on by then. I've got some really good ideas for some decorating and for some Christmas baking that I'm anxious to show you and give you some Christmas recipes and just really get in the Christmas spirit. So thank you all for watching. Go out there and knit the day. Have a glorious weekend, and we'll catch you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.